I really want to start eating healthier, but it just seems so expensive. Everywhere I look, I see these meal plans packed with organic foods, exotic superfoods, and specialty ingredients I've never even heard of. I can't afford any of that on a student budget. Most of the time, I just end up grabbing instant noodles or frozen snacks because they're cheap and quick.
I totally get where you are coming from. It can definitely seem that way with all the fancy recipes online. But honestly, healthy eating doesn't have to mean expensive. You don't need to go organic or buy the latest health trend. Basic staples like rice, lentils, beans, oats, eggs, and frozen vegetables are not only affordable, but also really nutritious. You can make a variety of meals using just a few simple ingredients.
And one thing that's really helped me is meal prepping. If you set aside a few hours one day, like on Sunday, you can cook meals in bulk for the whole week. That way, you're not scrambling to figure out what to eat when you're tired or in a rush. It also saves you from ordering takeout or grabbing something unhealthy out of convenience. Plus, it helps reduce food waste since you're planning what you'll actually eat.
That actually sounds doable. I never really thought of it that way. I guess I just assumed healthy eating meant cooking complicated recipes with expensive ingredients. I didn't realize there were simpler and cheaper ways to approach it.
Definitely. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight either. Try starting small. Maybe just replace 1 or 2 meals a week with a healthier option, like a veggie stir-fry or a rice and lentil bowl. Gradual changes are much easier to stick with than trying to go all in at once. And you'll start feeling better, which motivates you to keep going.
Also, keep an eye out for student discounts at local grocery stores or campus markets. Some places even have deals on near-expiry items, which are still perfectly good to eat. And don't forget community centers. Some offer free or discounted produce to students, especially near exam season or during holidays. It's worth looking into what's available in your area.
That's actually really encouraging. I think I've been making it harder for myself than it needs to be. I'll start by prepping a few simple meals this week and checking for deals or discounts nearby. Maybe healthy eating isn't as out of reach as I thought.
Exactly. Start small, be consistent, and it will get easier and cheaper over time.
I've been here for a month now, and I still haven't made any real friends. I thought it would be easier. I imagined meeting people during classes or events, but it's honestly been harder than I expected. Everyone already seems to have their own group, and I always feel like an outsider trying to catch up.
That's totally normal, especially in the beginning. Believe it or not, a lot of people feel the same way, but just don't say it out loud. Making friends takes time, and it doesn't always happen right away. What really helped me when I was new was joining a club or society that matched my interests. It gives you something in common with people, which makes starting a conversation feel more natural.
Exactly. When you're part of a shared activity, like a hobby group, a sports team, or even a study group, it takes the pressure off trying to force small talk. You get to interact with the same people regularly, which helps build familiarity. Over time, that can turn into real friendship. The environment makes it easier because you already have a shared purpose or topic to connect over.
I guess part of my problem is that I get really nervous about approaching people. I always overthink it. What if they're not interested in talking? What if they already have a tight-knit group and don't want someone new joining in?
You'd honestly be surprised. Most people are way more open than they seem, especially early on when everyone's still settling in. A lot of them are just as nervous as you are, they're just better at hiding it. Try starting with small gestures, like saying hi to someone before class, making a quick comment about the lecture, or joining someone for lunch. It doesn't have to be a big or bold move, just enough to open the door.
And remember, building real friendships takes time. You don't need to click with someone instantly. Sometimes the strongest connections grow slowly, through shared experiences and repeated interactions. Be patient with yourself and the process. You might not even realize it's happening until one day you're laughing with someone and it hits you that you've made a friend.
That's really reassuring. I think I've been putting way too much pressure on myself to fit in right away. Maybe I need to stop expecting instant results and just take small steps, like joining a few clubs, being more open in class, and letting things develop naturally.
Exactly. Just keep showing up and being yourself. The right people will find you.
Ugh, group projects again. I always seem to end up doing most of the work while everyone else just coasts along. It's so frustrating and unfair. I try to be responsible and keep things on track, but I hate feeling like the only one who actually cares about the outcome.
Yeah, I totally get that. You're definitely not alone. Group assignments can be really frustrating, especially when not everyone puts in the same level of effort. One thing that can really help is setting clear roles and expectations right at the beginning. Like, actually taking the time to decide who's responsible for what and when each part is due. That way, there's less confusion, and people are more likely to stay accountable.
And honestly, using shared tools can make a huge difference. Platforms like Google Docs, Trello, or even shared calendars keep everyone in the loop. When everything's in one place, it's easier to track progress and see who's contributing what. It also makes it a bit harder for people to disappear until the last minute because their name is right there next to what they're supposed to be working on.
I guess that's where we went wrong. We just divided the tasks at the start and kind of assumed everyone would do their part. But after that, we barely communicated. We didn't have any real follow-up or check-ins, and I ended up picking up the slack when others didn't deliver.
That's actually a really common mistake. It's easy to assume things will go smoothly after the first meeting, but regular check-ins are super important. Even just a short weekly update or quick group message can keep everyone on track. It also gives people a chance to speak up if they're stuck or falling behind, rather than going silent until the deadline.
And don't be afraid to speak up if someone really isn't doing their part. If you've tried reminders and they're still not contributing, talk to your professor. Most instructors understand how tricky group dynamics can be, and some even allow individual grading or include peer evaluations. It's not about tattling, it's about making sure the work is fairly assessed.
That makes a lot of sense. I think I've just been trying to handle everything myself to avoid conflict. But it's exhausting. Next time, I'll definitely suggest setting a clearer plan, doing regular check-ins, and making better use of collaborative tools. I agree, better communication and accountability could save a lot of stress and frustration. My exams are coming up soon, and I'm barely getting any sleep. I feel constantly anxious and overwhelmed, like I'm running out of time no matter how much I study. It's like there's this constant pressure, and I can't seem to catch a break. I'm exhausted, but I keep pushing myself because I feel like I have no choice.
You're definitely not alone. Exam season can be brutal for a lot of students. I've been there too. One thing that's really helped me is breaking my study sessions into smaller, manageable chunks. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, I focus on one topic at a time. It makes things feel less overwhelming, and I actually get more done without burning out.
And seriously, don't underestimate the power of sleep. I know it feels like staying up all night to cram might give you more time, but it really hurts more than it helps. Your brain needs sleep to properly retain information and to function at its best. Without enough rest, your concentration, memory, and problem-solving abilities all take a hit.
I've tried taking breaks and trying to relax, but I can't shake the guilt. Every time I stop studying, even for a few minutes, I feel like I'm wasting valuable time or falling behind. It just adds to my stress.
That's such a common feeling during exam season. I totally get it. What's worked for me is scheduling my breaks as part of my study plan. For example, I'll study for 50 minutes and then take a 10-minute break. When breaks are intentional and planned, they feel productive instead of procrastinating. It also helps you come back to your work more focused.
And don't forget to look after your mental health. Studying is important, but so is your well-being. Sometimes just stepping outside for a few minutes, doing some deep breathing, stretching, or going for a short walk can help clear your mind and reduce anxiety. When everything feels like too much, it's okay to pause and reset.
You're both right. I think I've been way too hard on myself. I've been treating breaks like they're a luxury I can't afford, when in reality, they're essential. I'm going to try setting up a more balanced schedule, something that includes focused study time, but also proper breaks, enough sleep, and some space to look after my mental health. Thanks for the advice. It really helps to hear that I'm not the only one going through this. I've seen some of my classmates using AI tools for studying and even writing their essays. It honestly makes me wonder, is that even allowed? I mean, I don't want to fall behind, but I also don't want to risk getting into trouble for something that could be considered cheating.
That's a good question, and one a lot of students are asking these days. It really depends on how those tools are being used. If someone's using AI to brainstorm ideas, understand difficult concepts, or get feedback on things like grammar or structure, that's usually okay. It's kind of like asking a tutor or using a grammar checker. But if they're copying full answers or pasting entire essays written by AI, that's where it crosses the line. That's considered plagiarism.
Exactly. AI can be really helpful when it comes to supporting your work, but it's not meant to replace your thinking. Tools that help you rephrase awkward sentences, outline your ideas, or explain confusing parts of a topic can definitely make your writing stronger. But you still have to engage with the material and make sure the final work reflects your own understanding and voice.
That makes sense. I do want to get better at academic writing. I struggle sometimes with structuring my arguments or clearly expressing my points, but I don't want to take shortcuts or risk my integrity.
Then you are on the right track. Think of AI as a support tool, not a shortcut. You can use it to help you brainstorm a thesis statement, organize your main points, or even check your grammar. But the content should still come from you, your ideas, your analysis, and your words. That way, you are not just submitting something that looks good. You are actually learning and improving your skills along the way.
Also keep in mind that your professors are usually familiar with your writing style. If you suddenly turn in an essay that sounds way too polished or generic compared to your previous work, it might raise red flags. They might suspect you did not write it yourself. It is always better to stay honest and transparent about the tools you use.
That's true. I hadn't really thought about how noticeable a change in tone could be. I definitely want to improve, but I want to do it the right way. I guess it's about using AI to help me learn, not to avoid the work.
Exactly. When used responsibly, AI can actually be a great learning tool. Just make sure you stay in control of your work and keep your academic integrity intact.
Thanks, that really helps. I will use AI more responsibly, not to cheat, but to support my learning and become a better writer over time.
Thank you for watching this video, will help you a lot, and subscribe our channel Vital PTE Academy to see more education related videos of PTE Academy. I will meet you in next video.